Good evening and welcome to West Prairie High School, located in Scioto. It's Pink Night here in West Prairie, in Scioto, I should say, at West Prairie. One of the, I guess I'll call it volleyball holidays that West Prairie likes to do. Of course, we got Grandparents' Night, but during the month of October, basically for as long as I can remember, they've been doing the Pink Night. Everyone comes, you know, for breast cancer awareness. People dress up in pink. All the student section is filled with pink tonight. Of course, there is a silent auction, 50-50 raffle, and a live auction to celebrate Pink Night. It's always one of the fun nights here. A lot of energy in the building usually. The student section has filled up dramatically for the Cyclones as we get closer and closer to this varsity contest. In the JV contest, Illini West was able to win in 2 sets over the Cyclones. They were able to dominate pretty efficiently, pretty quickly. Again, I don't know if I said this. I'm John Burton. Alongside me, my mom, Lisa.
Hello,
Finton.
everyone. Thanks for watching. We're going to have a good contest tonight.
Yeah, we are. Are you excited?
I'm excited. I
Should be
love volleyball.
Should be a good game, this Illini West program, one of the best in this area. Cyclones picked up a couple good wins here recently. They beat Elmwood at Elmwood in a game that got rescheduled yesterday and was able to pick up a win against Lewiston. So back-to-back wins for the Cyclones here as we close in towards the end of the regular season, as they're looking to dispatch of this Illini West team, but they got a tall task in front of them. Get ready to start with the starting lineups and the national anthem after we recognize some of the people here in the crowd.
The Chargers of Illini West and your West Prairie Cyclones! Before we get started, I have something to read to everybody. There are 2 West Prairie supporters who have battled breast cancer, and we would like to recognize and support them. If Crystal Fackrell and Erica Wright would please stand, let's give those 2 women a big round of applause. At this time, please rise, ladies and gentlemen, remove your caps for the playing of the national anthem. Thank you. And now, the starting lineups for first, the visiting Illini West Chargers. Number 5, Kennedy Gunning. Number 8, Ali Lopez. Number 16, Madeline Boyer. Number 4, Abby White. Number 7, Reagan Reed. Number 11, Josie Ryan. And number 99, the libero, Kaylin Farrell. And Chargers were coached by head coach Dakota Lafferty, assistant coach Lexi Cousins, and Paige Gunning. And now, the starting lineups for your home team, your West Prairie Cyclones!
Want to give a big shout out to Braden DeCounter, who brought you tonight's starting lineups. Took it off my plate because while I used to do starting lineups, it's not my favorite thing to do, but he was nice enough to volunteer to do it. He does a great job at it. In case you missed it, the starting lineups first for the visiting Chargers. It'll be number 4, Abby White, number 5, Kennedy Gunning, number 8, Allie Lopez, number 11, Josie Bryant, number 16, Madeline Boyer, and number 99, Kaylin Farrell. For the Cyclones out there, we have Maddie Hood, Ava Beck, Grace Vinonik, Lindsay Dunn's back there, Callie Wright, and Madeline Sullivan. Again, if you're listening to us, make sure you leave a comment. Cheer your team on to victory. Let us know who you're supporting, who you're here watching. As we're getting ready to get this one underway, again, this Illini West Chargers team, a really, really good varsity program there at Illini West. It's going to be a tough task for the Cyclones team, but they've been playing well as of late. They're going to look up to pick up one of their bigger wins of the season if they are able to defeat Illini West. Back serving for the Chargers to start. Didn't quite catch the number on it. That's number 11, Josie Bryan, who pick up the Breck Powell Country Financial ace to start off the game for the Chargers. Can't ask for a better start than that. Bryant back with the serve again. Sullivan sets up front. That was Callie Wright who tips it up and out of bounds. Chargers now up 2-0. Bryan back with the serve again. Here comes the serve from her. The jump serve into the net. Result in a point for the Cyclones. This Illini West team, just looking at the roster, very, very young. No seniors that I can see for this varsity team. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3 sophomores starting, 1 freshman, and 2 juniors. This one's going to be set to the outside for, that was number 7, Reagan Reed. Was able to pick up Tom Conklin's State Farm kill for the Chargers. Makes it 3-1 now. Abby White back to serve, the sophomore. Just played a little bit of libero in the JV contest. Sullivan sets to the outside for Welsh. The lefty pounds it hard down to the opposite side. Tom Conklin State Farm kill for Kenley Welsh. She's able to close the lead down to 1 early with authority on that one. Callie Wright back to serve now. Of course, the Cyclones dressed in pink. It is pink night. That serve going off Farrell. This one set to Reed in the middle, off the blocks. Wright's underneath of it. Vinonik bump sets to the outside. Welsh attacks the back corner. Nice dig in the back row from Farrell. This one set to the outside for Reed, off the blocks again. Brown's underneath it. Vinonik tips it up and over. The setter kill for Grace Vinonik. A Tom Conklin State Farm setter kill for Grace Vinonik. And if you've never watched the Cyclones play before, that's one thing you got to look out for. Vinonik is so good at just catching the other team napping like that. That serve is going to land inbounds. Illini West thought it was out of bounds. They started cheering, but nope. Up ref says that was in. As Callie Wright picks up the Brett Powell Country Financial ace and gives the Cyclones the first lead here early. The serve from Wright will go off the libero in the back row. This one set over her head, off the blocks. That was Maddie Hood, was able to get it up and over. This one set to the outside for Reed. Wright's underneath it, off the net. Grace Vinonik's able to pull it out of the net. Sullivan sends it over. Nice play there from the Cyclones. Back outside to Reed. That attacks the back row, and they're going to say it landed in bounds. Reagan Reed able to pick up the Tom Conklin State Farm kill and even up our score at 4 apiece. Serve here now coming from the Chargers is going to be out of bounds. Service error for the Chargers. Side out for the Cyclones now. 5-4 is your score. Madeline Sullivan, the freshman, back now to serve for the Cyclones. Here comes the serve from her, the jump serve. That one over the net, dug up by Abby White. This one set over head. Reed attacks the back row. Brown's underneath of it. Sullivan sets up from Welsh. The lefty out of bounds. Was looking for a big attack there from Kinley Welsh, but just hit it a bit too hard. Illini West with the side out. It'll be Reagan Reed back to serve now. The serve from her is handled by Lauren Powell in the back row. Venonic sets overhead to Welsh. Is up off the blocks. They're able to save it. Thought they might have called a lift, but they didn't. Powell with the dig. Sullivan was set over to a head for Venonic. That one off the blocks and out of bounds. Tom Conklin State Farm kill for Grace Venonic. Gives the Cyclones a 1-point lead here, 6-5. Kinley Welsh will come back to serve now. If you were at the Lewiston game, you know that she is indeed a lefty. Here it comes. This one going to be handled by White in the back row. Reed sets to the outside for Bryan. Dug up by Welsh in the back row. Sullivan sets it up. Venonic tips it over the blocks. That one popped up by Reed. Farrell's underneath it. This one set for Bryant to the outside. Sullivan, a little bit of miscommunication in the front row. Madeline Sullivan was underneath of it, handled it well, but just nobody home for the Cyclones. I believe that's number 1, Adley Codwell, back to serve. She just checked into the game, and her serve will land out of bounds. Service error for the Chargers, point to the Cyclones. As he says that, he puts it on the wrong team. Scores right now. Here comes a serve from Lauren Powell. Takes a couple dribbles. Hard to the back row. Handled by Illini West. Reed with a nice set to the front row. But Cyclones underneath of it. This one's set for Beck, who kind of just tips it over. White's underneath of it. Reed sets again to the outside for Bryant. Sullivan, nice diving save there to pop it up. Beck tries to attack the back row, but Illini West is there. Reed will set to Bryant again, who pounds that one home. Tom Conklin, State Farm kill for Josie Bryant. Big play there from Bryant, is able to even up the score. Farrell back to serve now. Serve from her. Powell is underneath it. Nice diving save from Beck. Good play from the Cyclones. Will it land in bounds, though? It will not. Nice effort from the Cyclones, but just wasn't quite able to get enough control of it. Would have been a nice play if they could have got that one in bounds. Here comes the serve again. Beck pops up to the front row. Venonic pulls it off the net. They're going to say net violation, I believe, on that. Didn't quite see the call. Either way, it'll result in a point for the Cyclones and a side out for them. Grace Venonic back to serve now. The serve from her. Reed will set it to the outside. That one, nobody home for the Cyclones. Everyone's just kind of standing around. That was Josie Bryant with the kill. Tom Conklin State Farm kill for Josie Bryant, that is. Brings our score now to 9-8 in favor of the visiting Chargers. Here comes the serve from Bryan. Powell bumps it up. Here comes Beck. Venonic will tip it over. That one set to the middle. Nice attack there. That was Madeline Boyer, the sophomore. Saw a lot of her in the JV contest. And she'll come through for the Chargers, giving them a 2-point lead here. So Reagan Reed is back to serve. This one off Venonic. Beck will bump it towards the back row. Venonic will take it from Powell. Try to get the back row attack up and down, but just into the net. Timeout on the floor. We'll take one as well. You're listening to TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
Skip adding detergent to every load with the Load and Go dispenser. Choose from models that hold enough for 20 to 40 loads, with select models even adding a second compartment for fabric softener. So clothes get the care they need, and you can skip adding detergent every time. The Load and Go dispenser, now available in 3 sizes. Brought to you by Whirlpool.
At Western Illinois University, Leathernecks don't just blend in because purple stands out. At WIU, there is limitless potential within campuses in Macomb, Quad Cities, and online. Visit wiu.edu/potential to become a Leatherneck and get an education that stands out. Back to the game here. Dunn was able to dig that one up in the back row. Venonic sets to the outside for Sullivan. Tom Conklin State Farm kill for Madeline Sullivan. Brings the score to 11-9 now. Beck back to serve for the Cyclones. Cyclones looking good here early against this Illini West team. That one set to the outside from Bryant. It'll be Boyer, I believe, who put that one. No, that was Reagan Reed. Picks up the Tom Conklin State Farm kill for the Chargers. And again, West Prairie has been able to play with him pretty closely here through the first set, but Illini West has been able to maintain a lead throughout most of this. Powell will set it up to the outside for Sullivan, who just kind of bumps it over. This one's set by Bryant to the middle for Boyer, who put it down, but a nice dig up from the Cyclones. Sullivan tips it over. This one set to the outside for Reed, off the blocks. Welsh is underneath it. Powell's able to bump it up. Here comes the attack from Vanonic towards the back row. White with a nice dig up, the overpass. Wright will send it back. This one going to be set to the outside for Boyer, who attacks again, but Powell's underneath of it. Here comes Vanonic to the outside towards Kenley Welsh. Another nice dig by Abby White in the back row. Nice soft tip over from Reagan Reed. West Prairie will set Welsh again off the blocks. Reed's underneath of it. Man, this has been a crazy, crazy volley here. This one, Vanonic attacks the back row. White's not able to dig that one. Tom Conklin State Farm kill for Grace Vanonic after the long, long volley. Abby White made a lot of good plays in that set, but just wasn't quite able to dig that one up. Results in a point for the Cyclones, and Callie Wright will now be back to serve for them as they trail by 2. Here comes a serve by Wright to White. This one bumped up by Brian, sent over. Vanonic will set to the outside for Welsh. That one, that's going to find a home. Tom Conklin State Farm kill for Kenley Welsh. And again, if you're a consistent viewer, that's a phrase you hear a lot. Kenley Welsh, one of the best hitters on this West Prairie team. She was able to put that one down for the Cyclones. They trail by just 1. Here comes a serve from Wright. This one going to be set to the outside for Reed. Nice block up front from Maddie Hood. Chargers have it. The attack from the libero, Farrell. This one, Brown's going to bump up to Sullivan, who sends it out of bounds. Side out for the Chargers on the miss hit from Sullivan. Madeline Boyer now back to serve for the Chargers. Here comes the serve from her. She has a nice serve. That one's going to hit the line. It's a Brett Powell Country Financial ace for Boyer. Again, we saw a lot of her in the JV contest. Even more of her here now in the varsity contest. She has a very, very nice serve. Here comes another one. That one handled by 2 Cyclones. Hood will just kind of bump it up towards the net. The Boyer that's underneath it now sets to the outside for Reed. Who's able to find a home from that one. Nobody home. Tom Conklin State Farm kill for Reagan Reed. Sends the Chargers lead out to 4. Again, that ball wasn't hit all that hard, but just nobody roaming there for the Cyclones. Another serve from Boyer. Sullivan will pull it off the net to Welsh, up and down, off the blocks, I believe. Doesn't matter anyway. Tom Conklin State Farm kill for Kenley Welsh. She has a couple kills here early. I just want to say this is the first time, we've been calling a lot of Cyclones games here at home this season, but this is the first time that I've seen Madeline Sullivan jump serve this season. Looks like she's trying to figure out something a little different to add to the game. Again, she is only a freshman starting on this varsity team. Very, very good volleyball player, but it's always a nice skill to have. Reagan Reed with the serve. Serve received by Lauren Powell. Vanonic with the dump. Again, I mentioned earlier, this Cyclones team and Grace Vanonic, you got to watch out for that. The Tom Conklin State Farm setter kill again for Grace Vanonic. I'm going to keep using that. Kenley Welsh with the serve now here. That one handled by Illini West, set to the outside for Brian. Cyclones are able to get underneath it. This one set to Vanonic, who just tips it up and over. This one again outside for Bryant, who tries to power it home, but Welsh is underneath of it. Beck tips it over towards the corner. Nice play there from Ava Beck. Picks up the Tom Conklin State Farm kill for Beck. Was able to find a home on that kind of tip over. Just right in front of the 10-foot line in the opposite corner where everybody was. Kenley Welsh now here with the serve again, and that's going to be a service error for her. Those are the type of mistakes that you hate to see getting late into this game. Cyclones have been doing a really, really good job playing with this Illini West program, but it's mistakes like that that could result in Illini West walking away with this first set. Lauren Powell, Vanonic to the outside, off the blockers. That was Beck, picks up the Tom Conklin State Farm kill. For Ava Beck, off the blocks, abuses the blocks, as some would say. Cyclones trail by 2 here, looking to make this one close late. Powell with the serve now. Nice serve from her. Reed tries to pull it off the net, but Wright is right there. Wright is right there.
That's a tongue twister.
That is a little bit of a tongue twister, it is. She gets the overpass up and down for the Tom Conklin State Farm kill. Lauren Powell picks up the service point. She'll serve again. Here's a set from Reed to the middle, and man, oh man. Nice play there from Josie Bryan. And as Greg Phelps would say, you cannot repel firepower of that magnitude, or something like that.
Very true.
Nice hit there from Bryan. This serve handled by Powell. Vanonic will set over ahead to Beck, who's able to put that one down. Ava Beck's looked pretty good here early. She'll pick up another Tom Conklin State Farm kill. And she's one of those players that Cyclones can get her going and just have kind of that second option hitting, and she's able to get her hits down. The Cyclones team can be very, very dangerous. Nice serve from Vanonic, just barely making it over the net. Reed sets over her head to the outside, off the blocks. Tom Conklin State Farm kill for Josie Bryan. Gives the Chargers a 2-point lead here late. 19-17 is your score. Serve here from Bryant, handled by the Cyclones. Wright will send it over and out of bounds. Cyclones will take a timeout, so will we. You're listening to TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. For all your local news, subscribe to the Community News Brief Weekly Edition, mailed directly to your homes every Friday. You can also receive Monday and Wednesday editions by email. All of this for only $42 per year, or $38 if you're 65 or older. Copies can also be purchased at select locations in Bushnell, Colchester, and Blandonsville. Good Hope Garden is located at 445 East Main Street, Good Hope. Open April through October, Monday through Friday, 10 to 6 p.m., and Saturday, 10 to 4 p.m. For all your fresh produce needs, be sure to follow our Facebook page for daily updates. Currently, we have pumpkins and other fall goodies available. Grover and Mary Jo DeCounter and family invite you to Good Hope Gardens. Come see where it's grown. I want to thank some of our fine sponsors for tonight's broadcast. That hit from Ava Beck blocked up front by Reagan Reed. Ava Beck will get set again, abuses the block once again. Another kill for Ava Beck. A kill of the Tom Conklin State Farm variety. Gives the Cyclones now. They're only trailing by 2. Beck back to serve. Again, if you're listening, make sure you leave it in the YouTube comments where you're listening to from, who you're cheering on. That one set to the middle for Boyer. Off the dig of Grace Vanonic. Makes our score 21-18 now. It's number 4, Abby White, the sophomore, back to serve. She played a little bit of libero in the JV contest. Again, this is a very young Illini West program. Sullivan sets to the outside for Welsh. She'll hit it off the blocks. Tom Conklin State Farm kill for Kinley Welsh. Brings Cyclones within 2. Again, the Cyclones, they've been playing with this Illini West team, but just haven't really been able to get over this 2-point hump. You hope that they can kind of cut down on some of the hitting errors that they've been making and come back into this one late. Nice hit there on the outside from, I believe that was Boyer. This one, Maddie Hood's going to bump it up and out of bounds. Kind of missed set by Sullivan. Hood just wasn't able to get a good run up at it. Tried to hit it over, but just couldn't quite get it down. Bryan will come back to serve for the Chargers as they lead by 3, looking to close this out. That serve off Brown in the back row. Sullivan will set to Welsh, who softly taps that one over. Bryan's underneath of it. She'll set to the outside for Reagan Reed. Powell is there. Vanonic will bump set to the outside for Welsh, who just sends a free ball over. White's underneath of it. To the outside for Reagan Reed. Will it find a home? Yes, sir. Reagan Reed picks up the Tom Conklin State Farm kill, attacking that back row. Finds a line. Gives the Chargers a 4-point lead. They are 2 points away from closing this out now. It'll be in the hands of Josie Bryan. Serve from her. Vanonic and Brown fight over it, but that one, Kinley Welsh off the blocks. Bryan is there. This one going to be bumped. That's hit over from Illini West. Venonic tries to pull it out of the net. She does. Sullivan bumps it up. I believe they're going to call 4 hits. Cyclone fans are going to try to argue that, saying that she tipped it on the block. Ref's still talking it over. They're going to stick with their call on that. Serve here from Illini West. Sullivan sets overhead to Welsh towards the net, and they're going to tip it up. Yep, Reagan Reed touched that. Tom Conklin State Farm kill for Kinley Welsh on the outside. Cyclones now up to 20. Got to go on a run here if they want to force some overtime volleyball in this first set. The jump serve from Sullivan. This one set over the head. Reed was on the outside. Venonic sets over her head to Welsh, who hits that one into the net. A hitting error will end it for the Cyclones as they drop the first set here, 25-20. Again, you're listening to TSSR Game Time Live. We'll be right back with you here in a second for the second set.
I chose the MDH OBGYN group because I've heard wonderful things about Dr. Smith. And upon entering the office, I really got along with everybody and got a warm feeling. The staff is warm and inviting and welcoming. It's a small community, so it's a really nice hospital to have here in the rural area. I continue to choose MDH because of the relationships I have. I really enjoy everybody here.
Welcome back here to West Prairie High School in Scioto. We're bringing you the Illini West Chargers versus the West Prairie Cyclones. Chargers were able to walk away with that one, 25-20 in the first set. Again, it is Pink Night here in West Prairie. Always a fun night, as I've mentioned many, many times already. Your farm is your legacy. As a leading farm assured, Country Financial is here to help protect it. Call Brett Powell, your local country rep, at 309-652-38889 for a free quote today. Located in the heart of Walnut Grove and in business since 1974, Ryan Farm Supply can meet all of your needs for LP, seed, fertilizer, and farm chemicals. Their LP service is unmatched in this area. Customer service is one of their specialties. Give them a call today at 309-772-3121. Macomb's original local sports bar is the Sports Corner at 124 with focus on local sports. Catch WIU games and all of the area TSSR Game Time live broadcast at Sports Corner 124. All while enjoying your favorite cold drink and some of the best food in West Central Illinois. Stop in and say hi at 124 North Randolph Street in Macomb. And again, we want to give a big, big thank you to Sports Corner. They've done a lot for us this year, jumping on board of this TSSR team. If you missed it, Dwayne and myself did a weekly show there last night at Sports Corner. We had head coach of the WPSE football team, John McCormick, on for an interview. He's always a good interview. No different last night. And we also had highlights of the previous games weeks, I guess previous 2 weeks, because we missed a week because Dwayne was down doing the Q&D Macomb game, one of the best volleyball games that we've seen recently. So if you missed that one, make sure you go watch that. And also make sure you go tune into our weekly broadcast that we did last night. We're trying to make it a weekly thing. So next week, usually about Wednesdays when we do those, make sure you tune in live to catch up on all of the local athletics. The block there up front from Illini West off the hit from Kinley Welsh. Sullivan will send a little soft one over. This one set by Reagan Reed. She'll tip it to the outside. Venonic with the kill. And again, she's done that 3 times tonight. It's worked all 3 times for Grace Venonic. Tom Conklin, State Farm, setter kill. Yes, I'm going to keep saying that for Grace Venonic. Beck back now to serve for the Cyclones. They're leading 1-0. The overpass tipped down by Maddie Hood. And here you go. The Chargers jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the last set. Cyclones flipping the rules on them here. Here comes Beck with the serve. Net serve off Farrell. This one set to the middle, up and man, that is so hard to take away from Madeline Boyer as she hits that ball with a lot of force. She gets on that so quickly. Tom Conklin State Farm kill for Boyer. White back now with the serve. Serve will come off Powell. Sullivan will set for Welsh to the outside. Off the blocks and down. Tom Conklin State Farm kill for Kinley Welsh. Seen her do that a couple times here tonight. West Prairie's really been doing a nice job of getting these hits down off the blocks. Probably the most that I've seen them do it this season. I don't know why that is, but maybe it's just something I've picked up on here during this game. The serve from right will be handled by White in the back row. That's a tongue twister. This one sent through from the libero on the Illini West side. Kinley Welsh up and down the line and out of bounds. And again, it's those type of errors that kind of killed West Prairie in the first set. They played with this Illini West team very, very well, but just made a few errors down the stretch that kind of cost them the game. You'd like to see them cut down on that. That serve, Brett Powell Country Financial ace for Madeline Boyer. Ties the game up at 3-piece. Boyer back to serve once again. Here's a serve from her. Off Brown in the back row. Sullivan will take it off the net. Sets the Hood, who hits it off the net. Nice diving play from Reed. But just, they're going to call a double hit there. Thought they were going to call a lift, but a double hit is the call. I believe that was a kill for Maddie Hood, a Tom Conklin State Farm kill for her, that is. Jump serve here from Sullivan. Towards the back row and out of bounds. That was a close one. But they'll call it in favor of the Chargers. Tough break for the Cyclones. Would have been a big point to get on the board there. Extend their lead a little bit. Instead, we have a tie game. Here's Reagan Reed. That serve is going to come off Powell. Vanak will bump set for Welsh on the outside. And again, another hitting error. Cyclones have made a couple of those here early. Could be a very, very different score if they were able to cut down on those. Reagan Reed to the outside. Welsh will take it. She'll get set again. Tips over off the blocks. Nice diving play back there from Kaylin Farrell, but just couldn't quite get there in time, and the Cyclones are able to tie this one up once again. Welsh back with the serve here now. Sends a floater. That one handled by White. Reagan Reed sets to the outside. Whoa. Josie Bryant with the big attack. Tom Conklin State Farm kill for Josie Bryant. Madeline Sullivan tried to dig it up, but that just got on top of her so fast, didn't have time to react. Josie Bryant has been playing very well for this Illini West team here tonight. Only a junior, so you expect to see her back for another season. Serve here now is going to be out of bounds. Side out for the Cyclones on the service error there. Service error there. A little bit of a rhyme. Here comes the serve from Powell. This one bumped up by Reed, sent over by Bryan. Sullivan was set to the middle for Wright, who's able to put that one down, but a nice dig up there from Illini West. This one tipped off the blocks. Nice play up front from Ava Beck, able to recover after the block attempt. This one, Reed sets to the outside for Bryan, who hits that one into the net. 7-6 is your score. That was a great play by Ava Beck in the front row.
That was very good.
Very good. Was able to recover after the block attempt and save it. Here comes a serve from Powell into the net. We'll have to talk about that one later.
We will definitely have to talk about that one later.
Farrell back now to serve for the Chargers. Here comes a serve from her. Off Powell, Vanonic sets to the outside. Wright tips it over, White tips it up. Reed to the back row. I think that was Codwell back there. Sullivan sets up for Vanonic, who hits it off the blocks. Vanonic's right back underneath of it. Sullivan sets overhead to Beck, who just had a little bit of a miss run up to it. Threw off the timing and wasn't able to get behind that ball. Again, Ava Beck is playing really, really good here tonight. She's a lot of the reason the Cyclones team has been able to play with is Illini West so good. Vanonic tries to get the kill again, but Illini West is ready for it that time. That's going to land out of bounds. The attack there, I believe that was Bryant. Just hit it out of bounds. 8-8 your score. Here comes the serve from Vanonic. That one handled by Illini West. Reagan sets overhead. That one was one of the softer ones that Josie Bryant had hit all night. But again, it's not always about how hard you hit it. It's about where you hit it, and she found a home for that. Again, if you're listening to us in the live chat, make sure you leave something in the comments. Tell us where you're listening to from. Tell us who you're cheering on. Ace there for Illini West. Brett Powell, Country Financial ace for Josie Bryant and Illini West. So they extend their lead now to 10. Serve her will come off done. Sullivan bump sets it outside for Beck, who just kind of softly taps it over. This one set up for Reed, who attacks Powell in the back row. Tom Conklin State Farm kill for Reagan Reed. Powell had a play on it, but was shifting one direction. The ball went the other direction. Couldn't quite get there. Here's a serve from Bryant. Powell is able to dig that one up. Sullivan sets up. Grace Venonic sends a nice ball through. This was set for Reed again, who hit Powell again, but she's able to dig that one up underneath it. Sullivan will bump set it over. Cyclones need to get into some sort of offensive system, but it's just so hard with all these attackers on the Illini West team. The kill there up front from Boyer sends the lead to 12-8 for the Chargers. Again, you're listening to TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. Timeout on the floor. We'll take one as well. JoJo's Gaming Parlor offers the best gaming experience in the McDonough County area. Stop in for a cold drink and a chance to take home a nice wad of cash while you're at it. Also, on game night, check out TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH Events, live on the big screens. Come join your friends at JoJo's, located at 776 North Cole Street in Bushnell, and cheer the area teams on to victory. A hat brand built on two staples, comfort and style, specializing in snapback trucker styles and caps. Check out the selection or consider customs to build your business at barkleybillsco.com. Use code I don't think that code is still active, but we'll say it anyway. Use code TSSR through Friday for 15% off. Don't let the hack rock fool you. There's always room for more. barkleybillsco.com. Wishing good luck to all athletes this season. Again, not sure if that code's still active, but if it is, make sure you get to their website. They make awesome, awesome hats. They look great. They feel great. And they've really started taking over this area. You see a lot of people walking around with that BB on the side. As I'm trying to do the game, Dwayne is sticking balloons on my head. He should know better than that. That one off the blocks from Reed and down for the Chargers. I still have a balloon on my head.
That's definitely a Facebook picture.
A Facebook picture. Net serve from Bryan is up and down. Brett Powell, Country Financial ace for Bryan and the Chargers. I started taking this one to the crib, I guess you can say. Serve from Bryan again. Sullivan sets to the middle for Wright, who just kind of tips it over. White bumps it back over ahead. Free ball is going to be sent over here from Illini West. West Prairie looking to get into their offensive set. Venonic sets for Wright, who tips it out of bounds. As I will now remove the balloon from my head after pictures have been taken.
And they will be posted.
And they will be posted. I'm sure they will. Serve here again. That one going to be out of bounds. Venonic was able to get out of the way of it. Cyclones need to go on a big run here. Illini West is really taking a lot of the steam out of the Cyclones team. Looking to build momentum here as we close in towards the end of the second set. Again, if Illini West is able to win this one, they will win the game here tonight. That service error from Ava Beck going to result in a Chargers side out and a Chargers point, 16-9 now. Serve now from White in the back row. Handled by Venonic. She'll bump it up. Sullivan will set for Welsh on the outside. Up and down. Did it hit? Ooh, they're going to say it was tipped. I'm not too sure it was, but good break there for the Cyclones. As that one definitely could have been called either way. Here's Callie Wright now. Sends it over. Brett Powell, Country Financial ace, put it on the board for Callie Wright. As she's looking to lead the Cyclones back into this one. That's a way to start. Serve from Callie Wright, handled by White in the back row. The overpass, Sullivan sends it down. This one's set up by Bryant, who's going to hit that one out of bounds. And here come the Cyclones, now down by 4, 16-12 is your score. Wright served a couple of good balls here in a row. She looks to continue to do that. This one bumped up by Illini West, set to the outside for, I believe that was Boyer on the attack, but just out of bounds. Cyclones have picked up 5 points in a row here now, as they're looking to even up this game, maybe take a lead here late. Again, it's not about how long you lead, it's about when you lead. And if the Cyclones are able to come back in this one, they wouldn't be leading for long as we approach the end of this game. Welsh is able to tip that one over. This one set by Bryant to Boyer. Or that was Reed, I should say. And again, the Cyclones doing a nice job coming back here. Kylie Wright takes a couple dribbles, sends a nice hard ball to the back row. Bump set up there. That'll be Boyer who sends it over. Venonic hit it up. Wright will take it. Hood will send it. That's going to be out of bounds. Cyclones just weren't able to get settled there after the attack from Boyer. Did a nice job digging it up, but just couldn't quite get it over and in bounds. Boyer will serve now for the Chargers. Off Brown in the back row. Sullivan bump sets to Welsh. Hits it off the side of her hand. Hate to see that there as the Cyclones were looking to make a run at it here, but a couple points in a row extends the lead back out to 4 for the Chargers. Here comes a serve, handled by Brown in the back row. Sullivan will set to Venonic on the outside, who attacks the back corner. Boyer is there. This one's set by Bryant to Reed on the outside. Powell digs it up, almost hits the ceiling, but doesn't. Venonic sets it up to Welsh, who sends a little tip over. Reed's underneath of it. This one sent towards the back row. Venonic with the one-hand dig. Powell bumps it up. Venonic tips it over. Boyer to Bryan to Reed. Off the blocks and down. The big Chargers connection coming through there. Boyer, Bryan, and Reed. They have stamped their name all over this game, as the Chargers are looking to close this one out. 6 points away now. Brown tips it up. Sullivan bump set for Welsh. Reed's underneath of it. This one's set by Bryant back to Reed. Welsh digs it up. A little bit of a missed pass. Brown's able to get underneath of it. Powell sends it over. Here comes the, she'll tip it over. That was Bryant up front tipping it over. This one sets it outside for Welsh, who tips. That one dug up by Bryant to Boyer to Reed. Again, here comes Venonic. She'll set it up. The libero, Lauren Powell, will get a chance at it. Dug up by the Chargers. This one's set to the outside for Reed, who finds a home for that. Splits the defenders in the back row. That was Brown and Powell back there. 20-14 is your score. You're listening to TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. Get a few live reads in. Again, if you want to hear your name or your business on the broadcast, make sure to contact one Mr. Dwayne Hulett, and we'll get you hooked up for that. M&B Furniture, Bushnell's only furniture store, is a mainstay in the community and offers free delivery within 40 miles. For everything you need to furnish your home, stop in and see the fine folks at M&B Furniture at 481 West Main Street, or find them on Facebook, Instagram, or the web at www.mbfurnitureiNC.com. You can also call 309-772-2111. At Western Illinois University, Leathernecks don't just blend in because purple stands out. At WIU, there is limitless potential with campuses in Macomb, Quad Cities, and online. Visit wiu.edu/potential to become a Leatherneck and get an education that stands out. Glad to have WIU alongside sponsoring some of the sporting events in the area. Of course, that college, the closest one to us, will be located in Macomb, but again, they do have some other campuses. If you're looking at an affordable place to go to college and get a great education, WIU is definitely that place for you. That serve's going to go off Brown. Welsh sets to the outside, blocked up front by, let me catch a number on that one real quick. I think that's number 5, Kennedy Gunning with the block. And now the Chargers looking to charge away with this one. 21-14 is your score. Cyclones did a nice job fighting throughout this game, but just haven't been able to close it out. Boyer's back with a serve now. Off Powell. Sullivan sets it up to Venonic, who's going to hit that into the net. Cyclones falling apart here late. They played a great contest, but just haven't been able to find the killing blow to get them back into this. Here comes a serve from Boyer. Brown, almost an overpass. That'll get sent down by Reed. I said almost an overpass, but that was before it was an overpass. Indeed. Tom Conklin State Farm kill for Reagan Reed. Cyclones need to go on a big run to get back into this one. Chargers 2 points away from closing it out. Brown will take this. Sullivan sends the free ball over. It'll be handled by Boyer. To Bryant, to Reed, off the blocks. I feel like I've been saying those three names quite a lot tonight. Tom Conklin State Farm kill for Reagan Reed. Chargers now 1 point away from closing out the game in two convincing sets, I should add. That serve from Boyer bumped up by Sullivan. Welsh will tip it over and out of bounds, and that's how the game will end. 25-14 is the final score here in set number 2. 25-20 was the score in set number 1. Again, the Cyclones were able to keep the Chargers close throughout most of it, but again, this Chargers team is just, they're one of the better teams, one of the more underrated teams, I should say, in this area. Of course, we always talk about the Macombs and the Southeasterns, but Illini West is definitely right up there with them. They're having a very good season. And again, this is a young team, so you're going to see all of these names next year. This is going to be a scary program in the future years. Again, the Cyclones were looking to pick up their 3rd straight win, but just fall short in this one. So Illini West comes in to West Prairie, spoils their pink night. Again, we want to thank everybody who donated tonight for pink night. Actually, I have the sheet right in front of me. I'll just read it out real quick, just so we get this out there. I want to give a special thanks to the auctioneer, Ron Runner, for who did the live auction in between the games tonight. You didn't get that on air, but I assure you it did happen. Just because it wasn't on video doesn't mean it didn't happen. Jessica Kitch with Nails by Jess, Tiffany Kitch, Debbie Perdue, Brenda Melvin, Bambi Moore, Danielle Bice with the Cow Patty, Amanda Wetzel, Jan Thomas, Diane Mealy with Tink's Cafe, No Place Like Home, Terry Sullivan, Roxanne Mason with Fitness Rocks, Brett Powell, Country Financial, who's one of our fine sponsors here alongside TSSR, another fine sponsor, Barkley Bills Company, Kelly Webster, Diane Tate, Rogers Bakery with Crystal Fackrell, Chastity Morse and Brent Starbuck, Erica Parker with Platinum Hair Salon. Again, a big thank you to all the people who supported Pink Night here tonight. Again, it's just one of those.
Mary, is that your writing that I can't read? Holy smokes. The second one was a lot better than the first, Mary. I appreciate it. I finally figured it out.
I don't know if you guys can hear that as they're announcing some of the auction winners. Dwayne Hewlett in the building doing the announcing, calling out one Mary Venatick's handwriting. Again, the final scores of tonight's contest. Scoreboard hasn't updated yet. There we go. Not 3. It was 2. Illini West was able to walk in to West Prairie and walk out with a 2-set victory. Again, the final score is 25-14 in the second set, 25-20 in the first set. Mom, is there anything you'd like to add?
Just thanks everyone for coming out and supporting a great cause with the West Prairie Pink Night. Like John said, it always draws a big crowd in, and we always like to recognize the survivors during the game, and we have the auctions going on and the 50-50 drawings, and of course the crank zones are always going on, so they're always fun to watch. And,
one of the best crank zones in the area, I gotta say.
I would have to say that was one of the best crank zones we got. Yeah, just thanks for coming out. We'll be back on Monday.
Monday, yep.
We're going to play Rushville Industry, and it will be seniors recognition night.
Senior night, yep. Final home game for West Prairie this season.
So if you know any of the seniors on the West Prairie team, just come out and give us support.
And even if you don't know any of the seniors, make sure you come here. Again, that will be the final home game of the season for West Prairie against Rushville on Monday night. Of course, we will be bringing that game to you. I don't know if it'll be myself, Greg Phelps, combination of the two, but that game will definitely be brought to you no matter what. So make sure you tune in for that. Again, you're listening to TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH. We're glad to have you alongside with us tonight in support of Pink Night. And we hope to see you next Monday for the varsity contest and the JV contest for senior night. Again, there's going to be a couple games throughout the week. Make sure you catch all of those. And again, we want to thank you for listening. This is TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH. We hope to see you next time.